We were just talking about what the world really needs is more ring records.
That's what the world needs?
That's all we need, actually. There's nothing else.
I didn't know that.
Everything else is fine. We just need more ring records.
We do.
I'm not sure how to feel about where we're starting on this podcast, talking about ring records, talking about a new one, a new super fast one that was
Another
set.
one.
Yes. Not by a sports car. That's key. By a van.
By the van. The SuperVan. The SuperVan 4.2.
The transit van.
Yeah, that's You know what I do like about is that it's an homage to Sabine with the Transit.
Agreed.
It is a total homage,
Yes.
even though this SuperVan was built to go get records at every racetrack, every place they can find. It's a 2,000 horsepower van. The thing that I love about it is the tribute and the fact that it is a van. The thing that I don't like about it is that if you think about it, every car company could go build themselves a specialty vehicle, van, car, doesn't matter, and make it with 2,000 horsepower and go try to shatter ring records. It doesn't have anything to do with production or what customers could buy or use, or it's not connected to reality. Whereas every other car on that list, not every other, but a lot of other cars are either production cars or that seemingly has more meaning than just a 2,000 horsepower van with everything.
We've been talking about production car records because, of course, the ZR1 and the ZR1X and the GTD Mustang and, way up there in the all-time production car records. This is...
You're fast, I'm fast, we're fast.
This is a bewinged, weird, all-wheel drive EV 2,000 horsepower quote-unquote transit van. Doesn't look anything like a van anymore. It's going around breaking all kinds of records. Of course, it broke a ring record. I agree with you that this is interesting because of the Sabine connection, because, of course, she famously drove a van on Top Gear and chased a winged Viper and got under 10 minutes in a traditional actual transit van.
Unmodified.
With a stick.
Stock transit van.
Manual transmission.
Yeah.
She did the whole thing, which was incredible, and she was an unbelievable driver. I think it just further doubles down, triples down, quadruples down, I don't know.
All of the downs.
On the fact that EVs are going to just keep breaking top speed records. It's not even a surprise anymore.
It has no meaning.
If you really want a fast car, in fact, this is where you and I don't really talk about it. We normally talk about it in terms of YouTube drag races. Okay? We don't drag race on our channel because we know there are tons of variables as to why that car won today. And also, we don't have some of the people that do a lot of drag races have runways they rent for every episode they do a drag race.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a runway that we rent. We're not doing that. So that doesn't happen. But the other reality is the fact that after you drag race a little bit, do it 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 pulls in any car, pick your car, you realize that's not actually what makes driving fun.
No, and it doesn't tell you, as you say, it doesn't tell you anything about the car.
Oh, of course not.
The last place car could be the great car.
Absolutely.
An Alpine A110 might come in last.
Fair. A Lotus Elise is not a drag race car.
That might be dead last in many drag race comparisons.
Miata's terrible in the drag race.
Tells you nothing.
Yeah, for sure. So
even if you have a drag race that the lead car, the fastest car was the best, okay. Then why should any other car manufacturer make cars?
I mean, the reality is, and here's why it actually happens. A drag race is a fantastic visual representation of one is better than the other. It is easy to film.
That's all it is.
Yes, it's easy to film, and somebody with no car knowledge or car interest can go, well, that one must be better. So it is a great kind of lowest common denominator, better or worse. But cars are so much more nuanced than that. And, what's funny is we will get comments all the time on YouTube and elsewhere when we declare one car better than another. Somebody will throw but this car's faster stat. And my response is almost always, if all we're chasing is fastest in a straight line, we should have all bought EVs because that's the reality.
Well, now, if all we want are ring records, we should have just bought a 2,000 horsepower van.
Certainly.
But you can't buy it.
It's super relatable. It's super relatable, Paul.
That's why I don't like it. I know Ford is very proud of it, and Ford said, with their page on their media site,
all-wheel drive, 2,000 horsepower, woo,
all the things, and it's built to the homage, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Great, build something relatable, and then go do that. I'd be more impressed if they took another Transit or the newest Transit and go beat Sabine's time in a stock Transit.
Ooh, wow! See now, now you're asking big questions here.
make it better. Does that mean the van's faster? It would disrespect Sabine because of this lap time, but it would show, hey, our van kind of handles a little bit, and you should buy one, and you can buy one right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I have to, you guys have to look at this van if you haven't seen it. Van is being kind. It's kind of a van. It's like a goldfish with wings, and it's got a weird. I mean, I'm sure there's some pieces of transit van running gear that remain in this thing.
The sticker,
the fact that it says Ford and somewhere on it says transit. I mean, I can't take away the fact that this is very impressive that they pulled it off. But this is nowhere near reality, and you and I are going to try, in spite of our Monterey episode last week, to come back down to reality. The van is a great entrance because vans are supposed to be usable. They're supposed to be usable. And this van is also quick.
It's quick. It's fast. It's aero like crazy. The pod shape of the cabin.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable aero.
It has the crazy EV sound to it. It is unbelievably fast. I'm not really sure what we've learned. I wore one of my ring shirts in honor of the electric van.
I love it.
But I love it. There's that. I can't wait to go back to the ring and drive something much slower than a 2,000 horsepower van. But we enjoy going there. We'll go back and we'll talk about that.
Some other news that we've just seen is about two of our favorite companies, Mercedes and BMW. And it has to do with EVs again and how Mercedes was caught flat-footed. They were caught because of the market didn't want their EQS vehicles. None of them. They've been feeling the shoe leather on their butts.
Yes.
It's been very painful.
It is
Customers
pivot time.
have not wanted that. And they have decided to ask BMW for help to use the B48 2-liter engine that is in pretty much everything, including the Supra 2.0, I believe.
Yes, I believe you're right.
Minis, everything. This engine's everywhere. Yeah. Well, now it's going to be in even more places. It's going to be with Mercedes. Now, Mercedes already has another 2-liter, but that one isn't really compatible with hybrid powertrains, so they have to get a different
I was wondering
2-liter
what they're
engine.
doing because they've made that 2-liter do like 600 horsepower. The one that Mercedes has gone crazy horsepower. Yeah.
So they need yet another 2-liter engine. This is the only engine that I know right now that Mercedes has asked BMW for. But I come back to the rant that I had on, was it 2 podcasts ago or 1, when we talked about the car.
Oh, yes.
The car, the
unicar.
Manufacturers.
Yes.
Everybody contributes something.
Yes.
It's happening.
Well,
my question
is,
you
bring it up,
what sets all these BMW engine-equipped Mercedes-Benzes apart from anything else? It is styling, it is interface, and a paint job. That's it.
Well, but you're also touching on the other part of the reality is, and here's my question, when and why did BMW become the person that everybody collaborates with for engines? I mean, Toyota and Mercedes are two people you would not think would go to BMW for engines, and we have both of them have done it.
Dear BMW.
Yes. I mean, the B58, truly, the B58, I think, has surpassed all expectations. That's the one in the Supra. As being like the current iconic BMW engine. Everything they put it in, it gets crazy horsepower. Every number you've seen feels like far less than the car actually spits out. So BMW is certainly doing something right. But I think it's fascinating to have another company that is pursuing BMW for an engine. Yeah, unicar. It's all happening. It's just happening slowly but surely, yeah.
You thought the Volkswagen 2-liter engine was in everything.
Yes,
BMW
I
says,
did.
hold my schnitzel. We're coming for Volkswagen's record of whatever.
Whatever, that's a record you want, for sure.
I mean, I guess this is fine. It's only one engine. It's not like Mercedes asked BMW for all of their engines.
No.
Hey, could we have that?
And neither did Toyota.
But I would think Mercedes would get past this time period. They would use it for a time being. But the question that's on my mind, the big question is, do you take your Mercedes to a BMW dealer for service?
Well, do you take your Toyota to BMW? It's the same question. Yes. Can I take my Supra to the local BMW dealer and vice versa?
Do I buy BMW parts at the Mercedes counter or Mercedes parts at the BMW counter?
Yes, agreed.
The oil filters, are they all the same or is it just the same supplier? Do all these German companies use all the same suppliers? They probably do. Lean on most of them.
Just come in different boxes, yeah.
And different part numbers.
Yeah.
So it's a little strange, but it's already happening. The unicar, the one car to rule them all. Mercedes and BMW are out of the gate.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, the other thing that's going on here that I think is going, we're going to see ripples of for a while here, and that is there are these new CAFE regulation standards in Europe that are coming in the next couple of years, essentially. And that is the thing that has killed the current Boxster Cayman, the 718 Boxster Cayman, and Porsche was thinking about going EV. Now they're kind of rethinking that with everybody else. But the reality is everybody was planning for so much EV take rate that they were killing off projects that weren't going to pass the emissions. The V6 that Toyota makes, the 3.5-liter V6 that was in the Camrys and their trucks that now found its way into my Emira, doesn't pass those standards. It barely passed to get into the U.S., and they're already phasing it out in Europe. Right now they're selling a 4-cylinder version in Europe. So the question is, what happens to all of those engines that are being phased out? Do they have replacements? Many of these manufacturers said, no, we're not going to worry about it. Everything's going to be EV. And then the market went, no, we don't want that.
No, it's not.
So places like Mercedes are having to figure out, where do we get an engine that passes standards?
Mercedes is an enormous car company
Yes,
with massive resources. Why cannot they dig into their archives, tool something up? How quickly can you build an engine? It's enough that you have to ask your major manufacturer competitor for an engine.
Well, but these standards, it's the weird combination of new regulations for emissions meeting up with a total turn in the market where the consumer, all of us, we don't want what these manufacturers are making. And those two things are coming to a crux point here and hitting, and they're realizing they're not ready. It's just fascinating to watch it happen.
We're adding FCP Euro as our partners and supporters for both Everyday Driver and Hooked on Driving. For nearly 40 years, FCP Euro has been an industry-leading supplier of genuine, original equipment and OEM parts and performance upgrades for European cars.
That means BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Mini, Mercedes, Volvo, Porsche, and even Saab. Paul, you have to call your brother-in-law and tell him FCP Euro is the place because, as I just said, even Saab. We're putting it in the ad. Anyway.
They offer a lifetime replacement guarantee on everything, including consumables like brake pads, wiper blades, and even oil filters. Buy a replacement, send back the old one, and receive a credit for the full amount.
For your Saab!
Plus, FCP Euro offers free economy shipping on orders over $49 and a 90-day hassle-free return policy for new, unused, and uninstalled parts.
So visit FCP Euro today for more than 300,000 parts ready to ship for your European car and your Saab. FCPEuro.com. So that's going on in the news. We should move to another one of our top 5 lists. On this podcast, we're doing that. We're doing car debates. We're doing car conclusions, a few questions. But our latest top 5 list, you guys very much enjoyed our sports cars one. We did a hypercar one, which candidly was not relatable. But we're coming back to relatable ones now.
It was fun, and it was necessary for Monterey Car Week.
It was the right thing for Monterey Car Week. It was absolutely the right way to talk about it. And that is behind us now, so we're going to get into lots of other ones. You guys have sent us a lot of ideas. Thank you for sending us those ideas. But the one today is top 5 SUVs. Now, we have to clarify, because there are so many SUVs.
There will be maybe more than one top 5 SUV Topic Tuesday categories.
Yes, this is top 5. No limits on seats, because you've got 5-seaters and 7-seaters. And it's under $50K.
See, I think all of my SUVs are 5-seaters.
All of mine are as well, because there are some 7-seaters out there, but I wouldn't define them as fun, because this is about trying to find a fun vehicle that is also an SUV. And I will also say I gave myself an extra rule. I also restricted myself to anything that I think is hatchback sized. I said that's not on the list. The GLA AMG, for example, I threw it out because like that, you can get a hatchback that size. It had to be something that feels like an SUV. It feels like I got extra space, and it was still fun. We get so many SUVs constantly in rotation for test drives, and we're glad to get the press cars, but we get so many. Mm-hmm. And it's just, they just become...
Not many, I think all of them.
Yes, we get all of them sent to us, thankfully.
I think all of them.
Thankfully it isn't all of the cars. It's just like 90% of the cars are now 5-seat silver SUVs, CUVs. So there's so many of these, we're talking about engine sharing and that kind of stuff, that feel so similar, and so few of them actually feel interesting to drive. So this is top 5 fun to drive under $50K. You can find, that could be used, but under $50K.
I am having a separate thought that just has to get out right now.
Okay, please.
It's about the Ford van. I can't stop thinking about it. You know what they should do is, because Ford is partnering with Red Bull for future F1 activities.
Yes, there's F1 branding on that van. Yeah. F1 Red Bull branding. Sorry, go on.
Red Bull branding, but Ford will be
The engine supplier.
correct.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Ford put an F1 engine in the future into one of their
Ooh.
Transits and remake the Renault Espace van
Hey.
and then go do ring records, then go drive those on all of the current tracks on the F1 season, because they could do it in a weekend and go set a record, or maybe not. Just maybe do some demo laps.
You have a Transit F1 trim.
Transit F1 van.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would tie in better, would
Sell
it
it
not?
to the public. This Transit F1. It's the performance van.
Renault did it all those years ago, and
Yes,
it's
they
still
did.
beloved.
Yeah, true.
Everybody refers to the Renault Espace. Oh my gosh.
The
they put an
Toyota
F1
Previa,
engine.
the mid-engine van. People just seek those out. Those are worth more money, even with high miles, than they should be, because they are a mid-engine Toyota van.
Because that is the, let's demonstrate the F1 engine.
Yes.
Here's our new engine.
Love it.
We dropped
Yeah.
it in a Transit. Hey, aren't we cool?
Couldn't we put the engine in the middle of the van space and do the old style 70s seating where you're facing it and it actually becomes
But
the
it's
table?
an actual van. It's not
It's
like the van
table.
like this where
No,
it has
no.
the.
It's gotta
all
be
the-
usable.
It has to have the seats
It has
like
to have the
Renault.
center table.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would not pass any crash standards anywhere, but it has to have the center table that sits on top of where the engine block pokes
Yeah.
up. So it's a mid-engine F1
with
engine.
all the race buckets in it.
And you get to face it. Two people facing backwards, two facing forwards. You can play chess on the thing in the back
Then let's
while we go
do-
around the ring.
And
We've-
fill it full of people. Then
Yes.
let's see what your lap times are like.
We have made a whole subset of just ring records.
sorry.
Done while playing chess. That's really what we're doing. Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Back to the Topic Tuesday.
Yes,
we
we're
are
back.
diving
It's
into top 5 SUVs, and you're right. I did not go after the little tiny ones because those are hatches in my mind.
I agree. Yes.
I also don't have any EVs on my list.
I didn't either, and I think it just comes down to fun. Not fast, fun. Right now, EVs are struggling to be fun first.
I think they can be.
They can
I
be,
think
absolutely.
SUVs,
Yes.
EVs can be fun in the future, but I didn't choose any. And I'm going to dive right into my list.
Please.
Starting with something that was unexpected for us. And that is the BMW X3 M40i. This is the B58 engine. And we really liked it. This was a lot of fun to drive. Now,
Yes, it was.
I am having, obviously, to go backwards and go used because the new X3 has been introduced, but also these brand new were not 50 grand. So
True.
I'm
Yeah, it's a
going
used
back
buy.
to a
Yeah, for
used
sure.
buy here, but the front end was classic BMW. It looks great, fun to drive, and more power than you think. And it was just a delight. It was so good.
It's on my list as well.
Really?
Absolutely,
No kidding.
because we drove that maroon one in the snow. It's owned by a friend of ours here in Park City, so shout out to Greg. But that is also, it's the right size.
It's the right
It's
size.
It's
I
a
agree.
genuine SUV.
Yeah.
It has actual 4-seat space and hatch space, but I like the X5. The last X5M we drove defied physics. It was so unbelievably fast.
Totally.
So it's not that the X5 isn't fun or that kind of stuff, but it's just that this feels right-sized and still feels somewhat communicative.
Yeah, agreed. I'm all about this. Moving on to second choice for me is the Mazda CX-5.
Oh, sure. Okay.
This is still being sold by Mazda. They've done a lot of improvements. Every
Yeah.
time I get in it, it's just a delight. It actually feels pretty narrow and kind of small in comparison to most SUVs in the market. It just feels small and nimble and lightweight, and you're reminded, that's right, Mazda, the Miata people
good.
built this
That's
thing.
good, yep.
It is fun to drive, and if you get the turbo, you get all of the power. So you get, I think, 250 up to 320 pound-feet.
Something like that, yeah.
You get a lot more power, and that does make it a lot of fun. And you can find them new or used under 50, which is awesome.
They're very impressive.
So
They
much
do have
fun.
kind of a it's funny when you put it next to their new stablemate, the CX-50. That the CX-50 feels like you took a CX-5 and squashed it, because the CX-5 feels kind of, to your point, kind of tall and narrow.
Yes.
The CX-50 is wide and squat, and they occupy similar parts in the market. The CX-5 is excellent, though. Very good.
If you'd also like to go brand new, this is still undriven by us.
Oh.
This is the CX-70.
Yes, the one up.
It is the 5-passenger version of the 90, and we really like the 90. I
Yeah.
was thinking about that, especially the twin turbo, or I guess the Turbo S version.
Yes.
And I thought, we still haven't driven the 70, so I've got high hopes because I do like
Agreed.
the 90 quite a lot.
Yeah.
This is, you can load them out slightly more than 50, but still, it's kind of an honorable mention. It just needs to be acknowledged. I felt like we haven't driven it, but I have high hopes because we do like the CX-5 so much.
That's good.
The CX-50 just feels like more of the Subaru Outback kind of market. It doesn't feel
That's
like
absolutely what they're chasing.
traditional
Absolutely, yes.
kind of SUV as much, but different market than these two, I think. So definitely CX-70 is on my list. And also moving on to the Acura RDX, I really like this thing.
Okay.
It's a great buy used. It still looks fresh and interesting and relevant. I'm ready for the next RDX, but we're seeing things maybe all EV there, but we'll see. But this one, great infotainment. It's got cool styling. It's interesting. It's fun. Lots of power. I do like driving this, and this is a small SUV. It definitely feels CRV size to me. Definitely feels like the more luxurious version. And speaking of CRV, not the 5th generation.
You are actually talking about a CRV in the positive. This is big, folks. This is big.
The 6th, not the 5th.
The current gen they are selling right now, yes.
This is the one I think you should buy. Actually, the hybrid is actually kind of fun. It's got that boost. It's got that power.
Yeah, it does.
That kind of makes it interesting. Now, in the handling department, it's not interesting, but actually none of these are really stand out in handling. So fun is relative to SUVs, to this.
Of course, yes.
This size.
They're all roughly 5,000 pounds or more. I mean, that's really what we're talking about, and that's not where fun handling lives. High riding, 5,000 pounds is not the recipe. Not at all.
No, but I did like it enough to add it here because I think it's a good buy.
Okay.
New or used. None of the old generations, actually. They were all underpowered.
You did not like the 5th at all. At all.
Oh,
yeah.
But massive changes for this one. I think they've done an excellent job. It felt like Honda reminded themselves that we've built the NSX, we've built the S2000, we've built race cars. As a matter of fact, we currently build race cars.
Don't we do that right now?
Let's do something. Let's remind ourselves, and they've done a great job with this. So absolutely, the CRV is on my list. It's also Cayenne sized. And then I was also surprised to add the Pathfinder to my list. It does feel slightly underpowered, but it's actually interesting and fun because of the legacy of the name and the fun it evokes. Like we're on our way to have fun.
Okay.
We're on our way to go do some stuff. And you know what? It actually drives very well.
It does drive well, yeah.
It's one of those that Nissan took a lot of components and actually did a lot of improvements. So it's not dull. It's actually spry. It's interesting, and it's engaging. There's some entertainment value to be found here. And so in the midst of everything going on with Nissan, I do think the Frontier is a standout. I think the Pathfinder stands out.
I agree.
The Nismo Z, they've got some bright spots here.
They do.
All of them are getting a little bit older right now, and they need to think about refreshing them.
And they're all built on old architecture that they revamped.
It's
worked. Definitely worked, yeah.
But Pathfinder makes my list as well. I think it's a good buy.
I'm impressed with your list. Okay. I think you may have outdone me for one thing, and that is I think you across the board have got newer cars than I do.
I tried to stay new. That X3 was the only one that I really was forced to go backwards. We have not driven the new X3 or X4.
Yeah.
So that's a determination, but those are above 50 anyway. So
pretty much all of mine make the under 50 category because I'm looking at all of them used. I don't think you could get any of mine new for this, but I really thought about, you want to buy a 5-seat actual SUV, and dynamics are important. You are a driver. You're coming out of a sports car. You want a car that, yes, it's bigger, but
get your hopes down.
Sadly,
prepare to be disappointed.
But this is the thing. I feel like the 5 that I have, and I've got 2 wild cards as well, but the 5 that I have really work as far as you're not going to be disappointed in the dynamics. You're still driving, as we already talked about, a roughly 5,000-pound brick. Okay, so you have to get your hopes down, as you said. You have to know what you're driving. But I really do want to talk about 5 that I have here that I'm pretty excited about. One that surprised me the last time we drove it, and that is the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. We drove a competition version the last time we had it, and we were both pleasantly surprised.
Are the competitions under 50K?
Used. You can get there. And if you can't find a competition, then you can start shopping the other ones. But also keep in mind, the Stelvio's been around long enough that the big boys, the Quadrifolios, are now used. Because keep in mind, the Giulia Quadrifolio, you can definitely find under 50. So we're talking about the SUV version, which they're hovering around there too. So there are options. It's going to really depend on your suspension setup, because I've driven these before and felt like they were too wallowy. And then I've driven the competition version and was pleasantly surprised.
That one changed everything.
So it's really going to depend on your suspension setup. So keep that in mind. They're not all going to drive well. Also, the seats vary too. But this one that happened to be sent to us, it was essentially a lot of the running gear and the seats of the Quadrifolio without the big engine, and it was
Yeah.
the competition version. I was very impressed with that combo.
That was 60-ish new,
Exactly.
but you're right, used.
And there's no second buyer for an Alfa Romeo. That's the thing. Everybody runs away from them because they're worried about the reliability. So
Yeah.
the Alfa Romeo competition, no one is going to be surprised by my next choice, so I picked up one of my own cars. I put
Love
the
it.
Ruba Cayenne up here picture-wise, but that's because I am a huge fan of the Cayenne. Look, I have a first gen. That's
great.
this 2010 that we made into the Ruba Cayenne, which now has the lift of a Wrangler Rubicon, which is why we called it the Ruba Cayenne. My wife drove that almost exclusively this past weekend. My son had a mountain bike race, and she drove this because this is the bike hauler, and she got out of it going, "This is even better than I remembered." She just really likes
That's
this
cool.
old one, which
That's
is
cool.
cool. That's a
They are
2010.
great to drive.
It's almost got 170,000 miles on it. It just keeps running. It's been really, really good. We also have a 2017, which is the e-hybrid. So we have like two complete bookends as far as the two generations and the amount of tech on each one. The 2010 is just base 6-cylinder engine, very straightforward, and the e-hybrid 2017 has everything you can get on one.
It's just going. The 2010 is just going and
It
going
is.
and going. It's great.
We like Cayennes across the board, and the thing is, as they make so many in so many variants, that if you have pretty much any amount of money, you could buy a Cayenne. I mean, literally, you can go find them right now for 10 grand.
That's true. That's true.
It'll need stuff. I'm not saying like go drive it forever. It's a Honda. It's not. It's not a Honda. These are expensive to maintain because the stuff for them costs a lot of money. Okay, but we find that they don't typically randomly break. You can watch a lot of my long-term videos. So I have to say the Cayenne, find one that works for your needs. It works for your budget. Be careful on the maintenance, but I think they're great. I had to put the X3 in here. This is actually the picture from our actual test drive, but the X3
awesome.
M40i is a fantastic actual kind of driver's SUV. I was very impressed with that. That has that B58 in it as well, and that was wonderful. Moving on to the GV70 Genesis. Now new, these are high 60s, maybe 70, brand new. But get yourself a slightly used one. Also new
excellent. Yeah.
with the 4-cylinder, not the twin-turbo V6. With the 4-cylinder, you can get them for around $50 brand new.
I don't know that we've driven the 4-cylinder
We
version of
haven't.
this. It's only been that nice
But they've
V6.
updated remember, it's the same 4-cylinder. They updated to 2.5 liter for the G70 sedan.
That's true.
So it's now 300
That's
horsepower and
true.
more torque, which is a decent engine now. The one
the price
prior,
down,
the 2-liter prior was not a very good engine. The 2.5 liter is better significantly. But I'm talking specifically about their 3.5 liter twin-turbo V6. Phenomenal engine. Gives this car so much power, but it's been around long enough now that for $50 you may be able to find one, which is pretty cool because, again, the brand new ones are $65 to $70. Like, we just had one this past week, and it was $70 grand.
I was reminded again how much I like it.
It's great.
It's so great to drive, so luxurious. Everybody asks you what it is. Head turning.
Fantastic styling.
It is
solid dynamics.
excellent.
It
Excellent to
really
drive,
is
yeah.
very, very good. And this is a 5-seat, little smaller than a Cayenne, more like a Macan size, but still a genuine SUV. The thing about it is you lose second row space, but the cargo space is excellent. So it's a really worthwhile SUV. Another one I was thrilled to see is under $50K used. I looked on Auto Tempest nationwide, found a lot of them. The Acura MDX Type S. I looked on autotempest.com/everyday, and I did find them, and it ranged on mileage and year. Here's the thing. You have to get into the earlier ones to get under 50, which is like 18, 19, I forget, I think is the year, because they aren't new. But here's the thing. New, they're 70-ish. So new, they're much cheaper than a new Cayenne would be, and this is one of my favorite competitors to the Cayenne as far as performance is concerned and performance and dynamics. And this actually can even be a 7-seater, which the Cayenne cannot. This is way up there on my recommendation list. The MDX Type S is superb.
It really
is a worthwhile large SUV, and the dynamics will surprise you across the board. So I have to say that's the last of my 5, but I have 2 wild cards.
Oh, you do?
For
Excellent.
various reasons, because they are quite wild. The first one's going to surprise everyone, probably especially you. I had to go here, and that is the Chevy Blazer RS. Remember driving this?
I do.
We were pleasantly surprised by this. The RS had a limited slip differential in the rear, and the RS, I can tell you right now what the mood board of this truck was. The mood board was, or the pitch to the designers was, somebody from marketing went in and went, I want an SUV for the dad that wants a Camaro, but he's got too many kids. This has the Camaro interior in it, unabashedly, with the fun vents and everything. This is the Camaro dash in an SUV.
It is.
And when we got the last one we got, which was an RS, we both were like, oh, good, a Blazer. We really were like, this is not going to be any good, because we were in a glut at that point of marginal SUVs when this showed up. This was a couple of years ago. It showed up. We had driven so many just questionable SUVs of questionable quality and dynamics. And this showed up. We were like, oh, good, Chevy Blazer, Camaro truck. And then we drove it. And the RS version specifically has different running gear. And it was, you know what? It held up. It was worthwhile. And that means this is, and keep in mind, the Blazer's just gone EV. So this is prior to that, okay? But this was a surprise contender for me when we drove it.
That's
so I had
good.
to
You're
include
right.
it here as a wild card. I don't think it is dynamically as good as some of the other ones I've mentioned, but I think its dynamics are surprising and better than they should be. And you have a Camaro dash. It's got kind of an interesting, it doesn't look like any other SUV inside, because it is the Camaro dashboard put in there for you to have fun with. So I have to say the Blazer. My last one is a wild card because I want to like it more than I do. Every time we've driven it, we've liked it. That is the Mercedes GLE AMG S.
How old do you have to go to find
That's
50K
the
and
problem.
under?
17 and 18 is the model year, and that is back a ways in Mercedes interior tech, which I don't love.
Probably some higher mileage too.
Higher mileage,
Yeah.
and it also means you will be maintaining an AMG 63S, and I don't know what that's going to be like for you. I might be a little concerned, but every time we drive this, we're impressed.
Who is the buyer for 100,000 mile prior tech one of these Mercedes?
I think who I think it is? I think it is the family that is Mercedes obsessed and is getting a Mercedes for their new driver. I think that's the used Mercedes, where you have a Mercedes. These don't look old.
Maybe they have one of these already and they're upgrading. They
Exactly.
keep the old one.
They don't look that old. It's still a Mercedes. It's all those
They
things.
look great.
They do look
Still,
pretty good,
yeah.
but the tech is old on these by the time you get under 50K, and I'm a little worried about the maintenance. But every time we drive an AMG 63 of anything, it's very, very good. So I had to put it in here.
You have a fantastic list, and I know everybody's asking, why isn't a Cayenne on my list? It's really, my headspace for this exercise was new. As new as you can go. The X3 notwithstanding.
This is where you and I were fantastically split on this, because there's really good brand new options, and then I'm going with the used stuff. I like the fact that we split it. It's very good.
Because you're right. The Genesis GV70 is superb. The Cayenne is superb. All of these. And I guess I was just thinking about ruling those out right away, simply because the trim that I would actually want isn't available.
Yeah.
Even used, I mean, like, I'd want a Cayenne GTS is what I'd want.
Sure.
And even slightly used, those are still above 50.
Yeah, I mean, the current model
MDX,
is...
I didn't think about. That would be on my list. That's
first or
really
second
good.
gen Cayenne, you can get any trim you want, but your first or second gen. The second gen ended in 2018. 2019, somewhere
you have
in
to
there.
go back, which
so
is
or do you
fine.
want to go back that far? I mean, that's the thing.
I was
this
just
is
thinking
a whole discussion.
new. What can you get new
Absolutely.
and you feel like your dollars are going a long way for something
and you've
new
got a
with
warranty, and you have brand new tech and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. That is how a lot of people shop. And
I guess that was my headspace.
I
So
think that's great. I mean, we will come
You have a
back
great
to
list, though.
we will come back to 7-seaters that are just for 7-seaters. It's another one on our list, and we're going to keep trying to keep most of these under 50K, because I feel like I actually read it recently. I think the average transaction price for a car in the last year was like $46,000 or $48,000.
It keeps
was
going
average.
up.
It keeps going way up. So $50,000 feels to me like an awful lot of money for a car, but that is like where most people are shopping now. And if you look at pickups, best of luck trying to find a pickup that's under $50,000. A brand new pickup,
even slightly used anymore.
it's crazy. So I this is weird, but I almost feel like pickups to me are always the reference for what a vehicles really cost right now. And if you want any kind of pickup with any kind of bell or whistle, not both, not bells and whistles, a bell or a whistle,
Right.
it's going to be like 60, 70 grand. So 50 grand we're going to try to use for a lot of these, and that's SUVs.
I'm fascinated that Lexus didn't make the list. And nothing from Volkswagen. As soon as I thought of any of the T word named Volkswagens,
T-Rock.
Tiguan, Taos, I just thought,
Yep.
oh no.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so real quick.
Because we're talking fun. We're talking fun. That's the key thing. There's plenty of SUVs out there that work, but I'm talking about you get in it and you actually are okay to be there as a person that likes to drive.
We didn't have any Audis either.
True,
There were
because
zero
they're too
Audis.
related to the Volkswagen product. They're not as fun as I want them to be.
Agreed, because I keep thinking, what is the luxury version of Volkswagen anything? I suppose Audi.
It's the Q or the SQ versions of
They're
the...
too close. They
Yeah.
don't feel distanced enough. They don't feel special enough anymore.
My problem with the Audi SUVs in this conversation is I have trouble picking one over a used Cayenne. Or a used Macan.
Q5, SQ5.
Sure. I'd buy a used Macan. And I think
Right.
the Macan is too close to a hatch. That's why I don't even think of it as an SUV. That's why it was off my list, because the Macan is a hatch,
Agreed.
as is the GLA.
I didn't really consider the Macan. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
But if you're buying
Yeah.
a Q5 or an SQ5, I'm going to say Macan.
Yeah.
If you're buying above that, the Tiguan, not the Tiguan, the sevens. Okay.
Yeah, the Q7.
I know the
SQ7s.
7 is a 7-seater, but if you're buying a 7, just get a Cayenne.
But then you're already spending too much money. We've crested 50.
We're talking about fun here, and that's why those don't work quite as well, because they're overlapped by other better things.
Okay, so the headline is Volkswagen makes nothing fun. At least in SUVs.
Okay, well, here come the YouTube comments, followed by the nasty letters. everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. We're always ready to read whatever you'd like to send. We appreciate it. Since you're listening to us, you'll end up shopping for your next car. And when you do, you need Autotempest.com.
Any car, anywhere, at any price. Autotempest searches all the major car listing sites on the web, local or nationwide. And Autotempest has recently added price history for every car listed, so you can see how prices are trending and know if you found a good deal. You can also create search alerts and lists of saved searches, so you can find your perfect spec even easier the next time.
Search on any device, in your browser, or as an app for Apple or Android. New, used, or unexpected, Autotempest is how we search for cars. Go to Autotempest.com/everyday so they know we sent you. Autotempest, all the cars, one search.
Our first car debate is from Ian D., who is considering a move to Colorado. He's in the South Denver area for a promotion and a good career move for his job.
Cool.
Ian, thank you for writing. He is currently living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. Before then, he was living in Florida. He grew up in Kansas, so that means he's used to cold winters and some snow. He anticipates that Colorado will have a whole lot more. He currently drives a 2021 Mustang GT Premium with the Performance Pack, active exhaust. Prior to that, he had a second-gen Jag XKR convertible. He loved that one, and he says, well, there's lots of great things about the Mustang. The engine, it's fast, it's competent, modern tech. He hasn't really bonded with it like he did with the Jag.
Interesting. Okay.
He thinks in large part because Mustangs are so common that it doesn't feel special even in the bright orange color that he's got. While the Jag was getting on in years, starting having the old car things like creaks and brittle plastics, all that stuff, worn bushings, windows becoming unglued, the soft top window, he said it felt a lot more special despite all that, and he was more proud to own it.
Interesting.
He hardly ever saw another one, even in Florida where those things live. And he got the most compliments for the Jag. He misses having a convertible, even though the weather in Texas makes a coupe more practical for his daily.
Yes, it does.
But now that he's planning this move to Colorado, he's wondering if it would be a good idea to get a daily that has all-wheel drive with all-weather tires, since the nature of his job means he needs to be in the office and can't work from home. It's the new trend. It's the new thing.
We're all going back to work, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to the office again. Remember that? Yep.
He has started thinking about something like a used Audi A5 Sportback or a Mazda 3 Turbo.
Excellent.
And then add a second car for the fun driving. So from
all right.
1 to 2 cars for this debate, with a total budget of $45,000, Paul limited to $50K, what would we recommend? So recap here. One all-wheel drive daily driver that must be comfortable, nice place to be, great condition, modern tech, and reliable, preferably less than 40,000 miles, no accidents or damage. And the second car is one rear-wheel drive sports car that must be unique. Strongly prefer to be beautiful, prefer convertible. Strong preference to be uncommon and not too needy maintenance-wise.
All right.
Ian has thought about a 1990s Alfa Romeo Spider, a TVR Chimera.
I have so many things to say already, Ian.
A BMW Z3 M Roadster, Jag F-Type, Triumph TR6. Please no. No on the TR6. That's going to be needy. And a 987 generation Boxster.
I have to jump in here. Ian, I want to come back to the actual wrap-up you wrote. You actually wrote to us, Ian, and said the rear-wheel drive sports car must be unique. Great. Prefer it to be beautiful, love it. Prefer convertible, uncommon, and then not too needy. Followed by the sentence, must work out of the box without a bunch of work to make it the car you want. And then you followed with a 90s Alfa Romeo Spider, a TVR Chimera, and a Triumph TR6. My friend, those are all off the list. I like all of them. They're intriguing and unique in their own way. In fact, we have to just sit here for a minute and look at an Alfa Romeo Spider because they are fantastic looking.
They are great.
The 90s Alfa Romeo Spiders, they're great looking. They're wonderful. They've sold on Bring a Trailer for way, way too much money. But when I was actually in high school, a girl I went to high school with, her dad was the general manager of the Alfa Romeo dealer.
Oh, really?
Okay? Right before it closed in Texas. This was in the 90s, right before they closed.
Really?
And these late model Alfa Spiders, he was able to get a killer deal on. And he refused to buy one. Okay? He was the general manager of the dealer.
That's like a 91,
This is
right?
This is the era I'm talking about, like right before they closed the dealerships and left the U.S. with their tail between their legs. He stayed away from these, and he ran the place. So I always thought that was quite an interesting endorsement or, yeah. Anyway, endorsement's the wrong word. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
People love these, and they just seem to be constant headaches. The TVR Chimera that we drove recently for our Coda piece, that is actually available right now. You can look at it on our main YouTube channel. We both thoroughly enjoyed driving that, but I would not want to have to maintain it. Mm-hmm. Triumph TR6 in the same category. Cool, but I don't want to chase that. So I think they're out for you, Ian, just because you want something that's going to be actually drivable. You can hop in and drive it as car number 2. That is a fun car, not car number 2, the project car. That's a different thing.
Alpha. Oh my gosh.
They're super cool. But,
I had a buddy that had one for a short period of time, and he spent his entire ownership just getting it back to saleable condition.
He bought it. It didn't run. Had to get it back because it had run well enough to sell it.
It ran,
totally
but the top was bad. The seat was bad. This needed work. And so he drove it and enjoyed it enough, but he just spent his whole time and all of his money just getting it back to something where he could sell it.
It's like boat ownership.
Not get his money out, but just sell it.
The joke you've always made about the 2 best days of boat ownership are the day you get the boat, the day you sell the boat.
Yeah.
Everything in between, there's some fun, but yeah.
I've heard that about airplanes, but airplanes are fun.
Yeah,
so.
Well, they are. Yeah, they get you places. But anyway, yeah.
Ian, boy, do I have choices for you.
Good.
I found really cool stuff. I'm very excited to let you know that I instantly thought of BMW 2 Series.
Ooh,
and so
I like it.
BMW of Seattle has a red 2015 228i xDrive convertible with 48,487 miles. This is the actual car. You don't have to get a convertible. I did find the coupes.
But you've done all in one.
I've done it all in one car.
Good job, yeah.
Here is that car for sale. Oh, no, they're asking right at $20 for that.
Really?
I found a 2018 230i xDrive hardtop with 43,000 miles for $21, so a little bit fewer miles. This one's 48,000, but the interior looks great. It's a rough-looking photo, a little bit grainy photo here, but you can see this is that...
2 Series is a great car.
Right
it is
there.
an all-in-one choice. I really like that. That's good.
Yeah, this is a 2015, and it still looks actually quite good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this could be an excellent choice for you. But again, I'm kind of saving my convertible choices for you for the fun sports car. And I love your ideas, especially about the Z4.
Yes.
You had a rant about Z4s a couple episodes ago.
Yes, I did.
That
They're overlooked.
They're slept on. They're overlooked.
Totally.
They are great prices.
Totally, yes.
Go get yourself a Z4. And I love the updated styling like this one. I'm sure you could find a 3.0 as well.
Yes.
That would be
If
fantastic.
you're shopping a Boxster, the reality is you're going to get 80-90% of the edge of capability experience out of a Z4, and it's going to cost you half as much.
Yeah.
Are you going to drive at the edges enough that it matters?
I think, you see what I'm doing, Ian? I am allocating about 20,000, 21,000 for the all-wheel drive, the daily. You can still have a fun driving car in that 2 Series,
for sure.
which leaves you 30 grand for something like this, a really nice Z4. 30 grand will also get you that Z3M that you're looking for.
Yep.
A really nice one of those. 30 grand will get you a great Boxster. 30 grand will get you an MX-5 RF.
Yeah, well.
Miata RF. And here's the Boxster. Here's a photo of the Boxster as well. I think that would be great. So go choose. There's a variety. There's a variety of generations. It's not just a single generation that you can shop for $30,000 in the Boxster land. But I'm landing also on a really nice S2000 that I came across from a dealership in Arizona called Plaza Motors.
Okay. Calling
them out for having a really great S2000. It is $36,000.
Oh, you're spending a lot of that budget. Okay.
But it's I think just under 50,000 miles, somewhere in there, but super clean. If you could find one of those.
Clean AP2, second the refresh, yeah.
It really looks great. It still looks kind of modern. If it's
those are timeless.
In good condition and untouched, great shape. Look at this car. It's so special.
Yeah, they're really great.
Ignore the 911s in the background, but
you aren't, but I understand, yeah.
This one I came across and I just thought, this is expensive at $36,000. It's actually more than it was new more than 15 years ago.
That's what happened to those cars. They're beloved, yeah.
But the nice ones, and people see a nice one, I think you would have a lot of fun in this.
Yeah.
And all of these, again, they're all roadsters. They're all fun stuff to drive, and I think you could have great enjoyment. But imagine a 2 Series X-Drive. I think you'd have trouble choosing which one to drive in the springtime and the fall when weather's still questionable. You could have all-weather tires on either, and you'd kind of have a difficult time choosing. But that's the way I would allocate $20,000 for the daily.
Okay.
You're spending less on that. Go maybe a little bit older. Well, going even older with the S2000 here. But those are all my choices for you. I love the Boxster idea, but I love the BMWs too. Coming back,
I think you did really
here.
well with the 2 Series. I think that really is fantastic all-in-one. I've got a couple all-in-ones, but I've got a little bit of everything here that I want to walk through. I'm going to start here on the obvious choice for the daily that is all-wheel drive and decent to be in, and that is the Golf R. Now, a new Golf R is your entire budget. So the question just becomes, what Golf R, how far back do you want to go? How much money is it really going to cost you? I mean, the first one we drove, I believe, was the Mark 6, where it only came here in stick shift. Okay. And that was still pretty cool. So it's the Mark 6. The Mark 7 actually is the 7th generation is the one that I think everybody really holds up, because with the Mark 8, they went to the weird haptic interface, which they're now pulling back on. So figure out what's the Golf R that you're comfortable with, because the reality is, in spite of the fact that this is not the most dynamic hot hatch out there, it isn't. I mean, we put it with the Civic Type R, we put it with the GR Corolla. Those are actually more fun to drive than this, but this is more daily do everything than those cars. And the space in the Golf R is hard to argue with. Many SUVs struggle to have as much space as a Golf. That's the reality. So if you're looking for a daily, it's really hard to argue against this.
I like the R a lot, though, for this.
The R is good for this if you can pull it off. Another one that you can find, because there are some used bargains out there, you may have to go back a bit, and that is the Audi S3, not RS3, S3. So the slightly spicy version of the Audi 3, I think, is possible. Now, how much of your budget? The problem is this is going to start to eat up a lot of your budget pretty fast, but I do like the S3. I already talked about the Alpha. I know you want an Alpha. I like the TVR Camaro. It's a great-looking car.
Though,
I really think that really is the place to walk away, though. I just don't think they're going to run. I mean, look, I have a nice picture of a Z3M Roadster here because you brought it up. These are fantastic looking. Let me put it another way. The Z3M Roadster is going to require some maintenance. But if you told me, which would I rather own, drive, and maintain, Z3M Roadster or Alpha Spider, I would run, not walk, run to the Z3 and just said, whatever you've got for me, plastic stuff, doesn't matter. I will take this and I will maintain it. So the Z3M Roadster, you cannot fight against that. It is a fantastic car. What about a Jaguar F-Type?
That's a great photo you've got here.
These convertibles are surprisingly affordable. There's not a lot of second buyer for them. I'm worried about this also taking up all of your budget, but you would thoroughly enjoy this car because you have Jag in your history and you loved it. The XKR you liked more than your Mustang. I have to put an F-Type in here. They are out there, and the convertibles. The convertibles aren't holding their value that well. These cars in general aren't holding their value that well. You might be able to find a screaming deal on one. I mean, I think with $30,000 of your $50,000, you could walk away with a really nice F-type convertible that somebody's selling out there, and you got 20 grand for your daily. So I have to say this is a compelling option.
You're right. Ian's got a soft spot for the Jags.
He
because
likes
of his
the Jags.
experience.
And because he's also looking for a little bit unique Jag convertible you would love. I'm moving on to my all-in-ones, though. I have to go here. Audi TT could be the only.
With baseball glove stitching. Remember that?
He's just Ian. That's the other thing about it. We don't have dog, kid, Minister of Finance so far. We've just got Ian. Now, look, the Audi TT, it's not a Boxster. It's not an S2000. It's not the most dynamic thing ever. But all-wheel drive convertible. You want something you can daily and will work in all weather. Well, Audi TT. Yep. You want something that's convertible and you don't see a ton of. Audi TT. This is a fantastic all-in-one choice here, and I'm excited to actually recommend it. Go out and use your whole budget and shop Audi TT convertibles and surprise yourself. I think you will, especially considering I started with the Golf R, and now I'm in some of that running gear in all-wheel drive and more interesting.
Yeah, right.
So Audi TT is on that list, and then I have to say it. I think you kind of brushed near it, but I have to say it. You really can surprise yourself. With 50 grand in your pocket, you can surprise yourself on old 911s. Get a Carrera 4 convertible and have it as your one car.
These 50K and under, truly?
Are you got to shop around.
Ian's money?
This is 996, 997. So the 90s and early 2000s
997
models.
997 would be sweet.
A 997, and I'm not even saying 4S, just the all-wheel drive convertible, because they're all cabriolet tops, which means they're an insulated top.
Yeah.
So you could drive this year-round, drop the top when the weather's perfect, put on all weathers or hopefully even winter tires in the winter. A winter-tired Carrera 4 will go anywhere.
It's
anywhere.
Fantastic. I'd love it if he could.
Summer tires and top down on any of those great Colorado roads, you will be thrilled. This is going to be all your budget. There will be maintenance involved, but I don't think there's going to be random breakage. There will be maintenance involved.
Yeah.
There's known issues with this generation. I know that. There's engine issues, but you can actually find people that have solved it properly. A well-maintained one of these is going to run a while. Because the other thing about 911s that's very interesting is the cabriolets are the ones that drop. It's the manual transmission, spec'd for the track versions with the Sport Chrono. Those hang on to money.
Yeah.
You get a non-S cabriolet, and there's no second or third buyer. Those are below everything else on the 911 market is the cabriolets. So that's where the deal is, which is why I mention it.
Ian, you've gotten many choices. Please let us know what you end up getting. Good luck with your move, your new job. Write to us, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. Topic Tuesdays, car debates, car conclusions when you decide. Love to hear from you.
Griot's Garage is our official car care partner and one of our very first sponsors for the show. They don't just make great car care products, they want you to get out and drive your car.
Griot's is a family-owned company, and they've been a part of every one of our road trips. We always take speed shine on every shoot, helping us spot clean cars at a moment's notice.
Their foaming glass cleaner is the quickest and best way we've ever found to get windows clean before a big day of driving. And they're always releasing new and improved products like their updated Wash Bucket 2.
Plus, all of Griot's liquid products are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the USA. The Griot's people are always happy to answer any questions to make sure you get the right product and the right results.
So get the best quality car care products out there from a company that has always supported this show. Our audience can always get at least 10% off by using the code DRIVER10 at griotsgarage.com.
Moving on to Dan Z. His email is from the Northeast. He and his Minister Finance want something to put the majority of their miles on.
Okay.
They are a family of two in their early 40s with the blessing and curse of needing both business and farm vehicles.
Okay, all right.
Their current garage has those needs covered, but they're lacking in the daily department. They have an F-350 truck for the farm, a Sprinter.
Would get farm things done.
That gets farm things done.
F-350 gets farm things done.
That's a big truck.
Whatever you got, the F-350's got you.
That's true.
Those are enormous.
That's true.
Sorry.
They've got a Sprinter all-wheel drive van for his wife's antiques business.
And quick ring runs.
And quick runs on any local racetrack.
No, but you know, just back to where we started. Yeah.
And a 987 Cayman S manual transmission. Now, Dan puts most of his miles on the Cayman, but his wife doesn't like to drive it. It also pains him to leave it parked at the airport for a week at a time when he's on business trips, but he can't exactly take the other two vehicles that she needs for work and for farm use.
Yeah,
the Sprinter.
She
and
can't
the F350.
find that the van's at the airport. That's not going to work.
And you're not going to like parking that F350 at the airport. That's pretty
Parking
much
it
impossible.
Here's the thing with an F350, you leave the farm and you come back to the farm. There's no parking while you're out.
At the farm and
you just use it for farm things. That's all it's for. Yeah.
The Cayman is also not perfect in the winter, taking the dog for dog on hikes.
Yes.
Costco runs, all that kind of stuff. And his wife would love something more enjoyable for her rotation than the van and the truck.
Yeah, those are big.
I think I have the perfect
Have you really? Okay. All right.
vehicle.
What's funny is that he then goes down a fantastic car guy rabbit hole. He said they're in the Northeast. They don't always need an all-wheel drive or SUV. Kids aren't in the cards, but they really would like to have something that's not as dedicated a sports car as the Cayman and not as usable as the big truck and van. So budget is flexible, which is terrifying to say to us. But anyway, this is something they both would like to drive. So the reality is it would probably be a little better if it was an auto. His wife would be a little happier if it was an auto, even though she'd drive a manual. But he's thought about, I love this list, this is so varied, E39 M5, the one everybody wants. I mean,
okay.
I don't know that you want
That's
to use
gonna
that as
require
the random
care and
daily,
feeding.
but okay.
You're not going to like parking that at the airport, too. What if
Yeah,
somebody dings my M5?
I agree. Audi RS3, the Giulia all-wheel drive, I like that. The Integra Type S, the Panamera Sport Turismo, a Macan, an ATS-V, a CT4 Blackwing. There's some great cars in there. A couple of them, he says, are a little over the top for his wife, she's worried about the perception of some of these. He also said he brought up a 911, and she said absolutely not for the same reason. So perception is an issue here as well. He's curious what we think. He has so much great stuff in his history as a driver. He had a WSS6 Trans Am. Remember those with all the big vents? Those Trans Ams were crazy.
Yeah.
With like the big nostrils on them. An R53 Mini Cooper S. Love it. A right-hand drive Classic Mini. There's
That's
some great
sweet
stuff
car.
here. Jaguar
That's a sweet car.
the XJR Jaguar, Mazda Speed Miata. So you're apparently not a huge person because I can't fit in that to save my life. Camaro SS, WRX, all manual except the Jag. But anyway, he's had a lot of cool things. Where are we? So for what I define for Dan as kind of the fun daily four-door is kind of the category I put this in.
I'm with you. Fun daily four-door. Actually, yes. My car fits for that.
Good, excellent.
Actually, all my choices
Good, I like
fit
it.
for you.
Yes.
Dan, I am going to first get all the usual suspects out of the way. There's only two usual suspects to start with, and that is the Genesis G70 2.5T.
Okay.
That car, they're 50 new. They're probably 42
I don't
to
even know
48.
that they're that much used. Yeah, you could find a deal.
You've got a great car, comfortable, luxurious.
Mm-hmm.
It's the go-to car. I think your wife would love driving it. You wouldn't mind parking it at the airport. And I'm going to quickly go to the TLX Type S because also great to drive. You said you need back seats occasionally. So you will hear some complaining from whoever you put back there, but just tell them
it's only for
we're
a brief
almost
time.
there.
Yeah.
We're almost to dinner.
Yes, agreed. Yes.
Two great cars. You would do well.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not as exciting as the one that I really want for you. I'm going to spend all my time talking about it, and it's a car that I've never actually recommended on the podcast before.
Go.
It is the Mercedes-Benz E450 4MATIC all-terrain.
Okay. Oh, wow. You went very specific.
Very specific.
Okay.
I didn't realize how cool these are because look at this. Dan, you have 375 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque from the 3-liter inline 6. And guess what? They're still building them. You can go get yourself a 2021 for as low as $35,000.
Seriously? Because I always think AMGs when I think of the big Mercedes wagons, but you're below that, and you've got a much more usable. And Farm has triggered you here.
Farm has triggered me for wheel arch, the cladding.
It's like the cross-country thing that the Volvo does.
Correct.
Or the all-road that Audi does. It's that in Mercedes.
Which I thought about those two. And I thought, maybe you could consider this, but you just don't see these, Dan.
You don't. That's very cool.
And you already have a Mercedes Sprinter, so you could have two very unique and very non-traditional Mercedes-Benz examples. A Sprinter and this, the E450, not an AMG. But as I dug into this car, again, found them for brand new, a 2026.
Okay.
$100,000.
Okay, all right.
It's a lot of money.
It is, but at the same time,
it's
going to plummet in a couple of years, as you've already proven with your list.
It will. And here it is again. I mean, just A little bit of gravel makes you think, farm, off-road, winter.
Yeah.
People are going to want to ride with you. It's got space for
they're very
anything.
This is a 4-person and gear car. Yes.
Luxurious enough. It's great for on-road, great for mild off-roading. So I dug in further. Thought, okay, it's been going
for those of you that are
while.
listening, Paul has a like a full card deck worth of just images of this Mercedes that I don't even think I've ever seen one image of, and you've got all of them. I love it. It's great.
From what I can tell, the early 2021s, that interior has the IP that we're kind of used to current Mercedes having. It's the MBUX system, which is great. Really like.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah,
it's the instrument panel. I'm just describing it for those of you listening. It's got the quad air vents right in the middle. It's got the great steering wheel. It's that nice wood panel across the instrument panel, and it still looks actually pretty modern.
Well, when they introduced the super wide screen that now everyone has, BMW has it in the M cars, Mustang has it in the Mustang, but Mercedes was the first to do like the double wide screen.
Double wide screen here.
The letterbox thing, it's got all kinds of stuff in it. The MBUX system is very, very good.
Feels modern still, looks great. Sure. And I kept digging. These E450s also come with the newish upgraded instrument panel with the waterfall feel. That is
if you get the brand new one, the updated version. Yeah,
it has the waterfall. It's almost like a reverse waterfall. So you've still got the hoodless instrument panel, that hoodless screen right in front of you, just a single panel. And then off to the side, you've got the main larger screen that's in the current SLs, and a new upgraded all of the materials, steering wheel. Still looks great, feels even a little bit more luxurious, pinstriping on the dash. And then I came across the 2026 model.
They're still selling this, and they're still updating the interior?
3 instrument panel designs for one car.
That's astonishing.
In this 5-year model range from 2021 to 2026.
Wow.
There's 2 photos here I've got because you can option this interior. It's just like the EQS 450 interior, like you were just talking about. You can choose wood, but you can choose the glass panel that spans the entire dash.
Yeah.
This is also an E450 4MATIC all-terrain.
Unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen one model with this many interiors in such a short period of time.
Now, again, there's a range of prices.
Of course. And I would go with the traditional early MBUX personally, but whatever.
Traditional old style.
Yeah, because it was great.
But look at this. 3 different instrument panels. There's the middle one, which I believe was pretty short-lived.
Yeah.
The waterfall style. And then the one where they started out with, which was end of the aughts, really, and still relevant, cool, interesting, the great screen, that palm rest on the center console.
Yeah.
But
that's
all
great.
these different interiors for the same car. Pick your price range, pick the luxury, pick your amenities, and you have a load of options on Autotempest.com.
That's amazing. I don't even know this car existed, let alone all that. I love when we bump into those. That's really cool.
4MATIC all-wheel drive. You can get it dirty.
Yeah, you can. Sure, I love it.
You can take it to dinner, and it is the car you can park at the airport. And a Mercedes wagon, well, first of all, it's a wagon. It's unique and cool.
And usable, yeah.
And you won't mind parking at the airport. Nobody will give it a second look. Well, it's just a Mercedes wagon. But, man, usable for you guys because you need function just as much as you need this style.
Look at you. You did very, very well there. I really do like that. That's excellent. I did not know anything about that car.
Just like the EQS.
Totally agree. You can get
amazing.
It's essentially just pick your interior of the last decade and then just get it in this car. Just find the right era and off you go. That's
exactly.
hysterical.
It's a $100,000 car at this point, but
the brand new one. But he doesn't need to get anywhere close to that.
So,
I totally agree. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, let me see what I'm going to do here. First off, I want to go through some of the things on your list that you're a little worried about. Look, I like the E39 M5. It's hard to not. That's one of those iconic cars from the best of BMW. I don't think you want to have that as your put miles on, bang around daily. Your leave at the airport. I don't think that's right. I also think that the Panamera Sport Turismo is out. Look, if the 911's out and she's worried about things that are over the top, the Panamera Sport Turismo is a fantastic wagon. I'm a huge fan. It's one of my very favorites. But I think that's a bit shouty.
Okay.
As is the Blackwing, I think is a bit shouty, even though I like the Blackwing a lot.
It's good.
And the Blackwing, that's the other thing about it. The Blackwing, I think it shines even more when you go out to drive it for fun. You need a daily. Okay, the Blackwing is that car, like the old M5, frankly, that surprises you with how good it is because you're driving it hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is your very nice daily and airport car, but it can't be too nice because then you don't want to put the dogs in it, and then when you're sitting in traffic, you're frustrated by it. So we're in a weird category here. So I'm going to jump into a couple of them. I do think that the Audi RS3 needs to be high on the list. You can get RS3s. They have the interesting 5-cylinder. The RS3 is, to anybody that doesn't know, it's just a little Audi. You park that at the airport, it gets unnoticed. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But yet, when you get to drive it for fun or wind that engine out, you're going to love it. And you can throw stuff in the back. I mean, the back seats are going to be leather. It's still like, what is the dog doing? Put a nice cover down. I get it. But the great thing I like about the RS3 is the fact that it can blend with traffic.
Mm-hmm.
People that don't know what it is will never look twice. It's a perfectly good airport car, but yet still fun. And yeah, it's an Audi, but it's not super flashy because it's something about being the small one. It gets away with it. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem that flashy because it's little. The Alfa Giulia all-wheel drive, you mentioned it, so I'm going to hit on it again. You can't go wrong with this car. Now, the reality is the all-wheel drive is only the base engine. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that car feels more powerful than the stats suggest, but this is a great-looking car, and it is really good to drive. And in all-wheel drive, you can just drive it. We actually rented one on Turo years back, and it was fine. The guy had it as like his Turo, like throw miles, rent this car constantly, and it was fine. So I really think that the all-wheel drive Giulia is going to add a little bit of specialness to a car you can also just use as a daily. But I think my favorite for you is this.
So good.
You had it already, Paul. I've got to bring it up again. The Acura TLX Type S. The problem we have with this car is we are big guys. You said you had an NB Mazda Speed Miata, so I'm suggesting that you're probably not as big as we are.
Right, yeah.
If you're not as big as we are, the back seats become usable in this. But it's mostly just the two of you. Yeah. And the reality is the two of you in this car are going to be fine.
Very happy.
You're using it as a daily. It actually has a pretty good-sized trunk and not great back seats. Costco runs will work. It's a Honda product. You throw the dog in the back, it's going to run. The dynamics of this car are very surprising. They're much better than you would think for a front-wheel drive biased chassis. But this is the super handling all-wheel drive, which Acura does wonderfully well. I like your Integra Type S. You brought it up, but there's two problems I have with that. It's not all-wheel drive, which you don't say you have to have, but you'd like to have, and it's manual. This is all-wheel drive and auto. And the TLX Type S is another one of those cars, kind of like where I started with the RS3, where car people know and everybody else looked right by it. You park this at the airport, no one cares. Okay?
Totally.
But every time we get one of these as a press car, we kind of fight over it because we love driving it.
Yeah, it's great.
We just wish it was a four-door with more back seat space, but that's not really your primary usage. So I think you're done right here.
Great choices. Wow. All right, Dan, you've got some decision making to do. Really appreciate your email. Like I say, if you've got an email like Dan's, like Ian's, write to us, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com.
I will admit I've got a little bit of how do I put this? I'm a little hair trigger sometimes when we get our emails or we get YouTube comments. I kind of expect the worst. When they come in like they're swinging elbows, I kind of brace myself. This is one of those moments, and then it makes me laugh. The car conclusion here from Patrick is that it's all my fault. He says it's all Todd's fault. He's writing in because we've covered his car debate a while back, and we came down to two cars for him. And he was debating between the Lotus Elise and the C6 generation Z06. That's one of the big 7-liter. That's the big old engine, the 427 that you want that's got all the power that I'm a huge fan of that car.
I mean, those are opposite ends of the spectrum.
They are, but it was all my fault. And so he was debating between those two, and he decided to get himself an orange Lotus Elise with the optional hardtop about a year ago, last November, okay? And at first, it was everything he ever wanted. He loved it. His wife loved it. His eldest son loved it. They were having a great time. But then he realized this is dangerous to commute in. No one can see him. You have an orange one. Look, I have a yellow one. I know this. Having a gray or a black one has to be a death sentence. Because at least a bright color you can kind of see. Or you can yell at the person like, what, you don't see the big rolling flag here? What is going on?
That's funny.
You had a bright orange one, and you said you realized sometimes you were getting dirty looks and comments from other people because they thought it was crazy expensive, and even though you know it isn't. So you were kind of getting looked like, what's that crazy car you bought? And then nobody could see you in traffic, and it was frustrating you and annoying them. So you started to actually use it a little bit less. Then your twins were growing out of most of their infant stuff, needed more storage space, and inevitably when you would occasionally drive the Lotus to work, your wife would call and say, I need you to pick up the twins, which you're not doing in the Elise. So you'd have to drive the Elise home to pick up a different car to take it to get the twins and any of the other kids or any stuff. So that was an issue. Then here is the interesting thing. You had a situation where for about 6 weeks straight, you didn't get to drive it. It just didn't work for commute, for life, for whatever. For 6 weeks it sat. And you realized...
That part was not your fault.
No, that's just... No, that wasn't my fault. I didn't have anything to do with that.
Your fault.
No, I didn't have anything to do with that. Not my fault. But you didn't drive this car for 6 weeks, and you suddenly realized you were relieved. You were relieved you weren't driving it because you realized the stress of having it was just... It was overwhelming, the fact that when you drive it in the right situation, it was perfect. So you realized that was the perfect time to sell the car. You were going to list it, and then for some unknown reason, I'd love to hear the story of why this happened. Your dad suddenly said, you know what I think are really cool? Lotus Elise. And he started sending you random postings of people selling Lotus. Like, look at this one, look at this one. You went, wait a minute, hang on, Dad. Would you like to buy my Elise? So Dad buys the Elise, and what's interesting is, Patrick's whole family was more bummed to see it go than anybody else, but it went to his dad. So now the kids are excited that Grandpa has it, but they keep going, well, where'd the little orange fun car go? This hit a nerve with the whole family. Dad may have the Elise now, but his wife kind of realized after it left how much she liked it. And now her dream cars, because of having an Elise, are now, I love this, a Lotus Emira or maybe a McLaren.
You got her interested in British cars?
I have no idea. I don't think I did this, by the way. But anyway, having the Elise influenced that. And the kids were really bummed. His oldest son was really sad to see it go. He kept asking about the orange race car. And so as a kind of a way to try to solve that, they started watching IMSA races. And now his eldest son loves Rexy, which is that green 911 painted like the T-Rex. Loves
so cool.
that. He now has a poster of Rexy on his wall and has declared that the orange 911 GT3 is his future dream car. So mom wants either an Emira or a McLaren. His son wants a 911. Okay, so they were thinking they couldn't have any more fun. Kind of resigned to 5-seat CUVs. And then after a major work project, he found himself surfing through videos on the Elise. Why are you doing this to yourself? And the Corvette came up again.
I'm smiling. This
is ridiculously funny.
Well, Patrick writes he'd been saving up for a home improvement project, but decided that what they wanted to do wasn't a smart use of their money. Too much for the neighborhood that they live in.
To do.
It was around that time that our recent Lotus Emira versus Cayman GT4 video dropped.
The first of our Coda piece, yeah.
And what changed his mind about another car was when I apparently looked straight into the camera and I said, about talking about the additional cost and sacrifice needed to own your dream car.
Well, and also you were talking about the fact of driving it. You were talking about the fact it's going to get
Yes.
dirty and burn stuff and go through consumables, and you were like, and?
So when Patrick and his wife sat down to talk about what to do with the money they had saved up, and now that they weren't going to do the home improvement project, Patrick threw out the idea of buying a Corvette. His reasoning was that they had already planned to spend the money, so why not spend it on something both of them can enjoy?
Interesting.
He writes they have been going to the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona since they first started dating when they went to college in Daytona Beach. Going to the event in Daytona Beach,
Yeah.
The Corvettes have always been thunderously loud, so much so you feel the bass of the vibration in your chest before you actually hear the sound of the engine as it's coming towards you. You can hear them the furthest away from the track compared to any of the other cars, combined with the classic GT proportions and Patrick's own enthusiasm for Corvettes, so his wife fell in love with them as well. And she had no argument.
Yes, let's get a Corvette. I love this. This is amazing. We're not going to fix that on the house. Let's buy a Vet.
Within 2 weeks of that pronouncement, Patrick was in Chicago buying a yellow C6 Z06 and road tripping it home.
I love it.
The total cost was within $500, with the Lotus cost approximately $42,000. And guess what? It gets driven all the time. More often than not, his wife is the one driving it, as Patrick still makes the daycare run 4 days a week while she works from home. In 1 month, they've put over 2,000 miles on it. His son loves it even more than the Lotus.
Okay.
He's like a little Ricky Bobby. His pair of 18-month-olds go vroom vroom every time they see it. So what started off as a conundrum that was all your fault, Todd, has been resolved by listening to my advice about stop thinking about how much it's going to cost. I have to do that because I can't allow myself. I'll lose even more hair, I guess.
Well, but he says not only can he not believe he's owned both these cars. He always thought about owning an Elise. He's had one. He really did like it, in spite of the fact it didn't work for his life. Now he has this Z06. He says, how have I owned these two cars? And then he kind of zooms out for us for a second and goes, he has a Z06. His dad has an Elise. His wife wants a McLaren. His eldest son wants a Porsche. And his twins make race car noises and giggle when they see fun cars. We have officially infected the entire family with the car disease. And he says he thinks he's grateful, but more than anything, the thing that's best here is that Patrick closes off his email by says, please never stop being automotively irresponsible. We are that all the time. But we're thrilled that ultimately you found a car you love, your wife loves, and I just love that you guys have kind of rallied around with cars. We've talked about this so many times. It is one of the rare, I hate to say it this way, non-political, non-religious, non-fighting words things we can all talk about. It is amazing how cars cross all strata, and I love that you've had these cars. What a really cool pairing. What a cool story. And yes, you're right, Patrick. The Lotus Elise is a sacrifice to own. It is. It just is.
Thanks for letting us spend your money, Patrick, I guess.
That's very good. Yep.
Moving on to car conclusion number 2 from Paul S. in Chicago from episode 109. If you've listened that long, thank you. You will also remember Paul had that hand-me-down BMW M3.
We made so much fun of it because he had an older brother who was like, here, would you like an M3? And we were like, wait. The E46 that everybody wants? Your brother's like, yeah, I just want you to have it.
So we met Paul in August 2016 at the Audubon Country Club. That was one of our first track day events there.
That may have been our first ever thing that we kind of coined as an adventure after that. It was like one of our first ever times we met fans. It was very cool, yeah.
So, episode 109, again, older brother gifted him an 06 E46 M3 manual. He was mulling about an S550 Ford Mustang GT manual or a Fiesta ST. Todd, your advice was to ask Paul's brother if he could sell the M3 and buy the S550 Mustang.
Because he was obsessed with that Mustang. That's the car he wanted, yeah.
Of course, my advice was to sell the M3 and buy both cars, the Fiesta and the Mustang. You want both? Buy both.
Yes.
Stop thinking about the cost.
So apparently in more than a decade, we haven't really changed much or learned much of anything. We still do these ridiculous things. Yep. Okay.
Well, Paul in Chicago ended up buying the Fiesta in 2017 to use as a daily and keeping the M3 for weekend fun driving.
Okay.
He was content with the Fiesta purchase, but still curious about the Mustang. So he test drove the S550 that he had in his mind. He's set on buying it, and he wasn't impressed.
It was a hero car, and he met it and was like, wait a minute, this has 100 more horsepower than his M3, and the M3 felt quicker. The response to the inputs felt better on the M3 as well. He was like, wait a minute.
That's us.
There we are, looking significantly younger. For those of you that are watching the video are like, wow, those 10 years have gone by hard. Anyway, but he had this kind of realization moment of, you have to do the test drive. Because he'd lionized this S550 Mustang, drove it and went, nope, not for me, which is crazy, yeah.
Around 2021, his brother eventually asked to take back the M3. Aha! We knew there was a catch. And so Paul was without any rear-wheel drive fun. And Paul, well, his brother has not strayed from the Mercedes camp. He has had multiple. He's now got a CLE 53.
The BMW is the only thing. He moved from the BMW to a string of Mercedes, but he's now asked for the M3 back. So rear-wheel drive leaves Paul's life, yeah.
So Paul's Fiesta, he still's got it. He lost the racing stripes. It's completely stock. And he found, during his daily internet car browsing adventures, his ideal 6th gen Camaro in Madison, Wisconsin. Not the 1LE, the track spec 1LE, but the 2SS. It was on the mid-cycle refresh version with a controversial facelift, about 12,000 miles on the odometer. He had a black accent package. Moonroof, dual mode exhaust, and something called a battery protection package.
Sure. What I find interesting about this is you're probably sitting here wondering, wait a minute, we were in Fordland, Fiestas and Mustangs. Why'd you buy a Camaro? It's because in the middle between then and now, he had an opportunity to drive a Camaro randomly. His family met up for dinner one night, and his aunt had a rental car Camaro in her possession. He thinks she just rented it because she was like, that looks cool. So he got to drive a 6th-gen Camaro that she had rented. He was just like, hey, test drives are interesting. I should do one. And he was shocked by the fact that it felt kind of the way the Mustang should have in his mind.
Yeah.
So he kind of filed that away. And so when he got around to actually buying something, he was looking at Camaros, and he found this SS, and he got it. It was supposed to be $50,000. He paid $41,000. Good for you.
Nicely
before taxes.
done.
Excellent. He is in love with it. What's interesting is the story takes a bit of a turn here because somewhere in the midst of this, he happened to go to Hocking Hills, which we've driven.
Yeah.
He went with his Fiesta and chased a buddy who had a brand new 992 GTS 911, and he was thrilled that his little 2,700-pound Fiesta ST could keep up with the 911. But now he can't wait to take the Camaro because he said it works in everything. Seats are comfy and bolstered, but also have heating and cooling. It's got the big 6.2-liter V8 that he thinks would be amazing for highway speeds to get to fun roads, and then, of course, the car is agile enough to do the fun roads. Head-up display, good-sized trunk, even though narrow opening. All the features he wanted, plus the V8 rumble, and he got, honestly, the pony car feel he was hoping for in the Mustang. He found it in the Camaro.
That's really cool. He says he gets challenged for street racing because apparently owners of these cars are known for street racing them. So he gets challenged. He's gotten some nails in the tires, but he said, thank us for featuring his car debate 10 years ago. Paul, thank you for writing. We
really cool.
Really appreciate it. And I'm glad that there was such a long gestation period.
Yeah.
And I love, if any of you have had debates from us, please still write to us Car Conclusions. We love seeing the through line, what you've had over the years. You've bought the thing we recommended, and 2 or 3 or 4 cars later, you bought something else. We love hearing those stories too.
And he still has that Fiesta, and now he's added this Camaro, and he loves them both. I love that you have 2 cars that you like. I also think it's interesting you have both Ford and Chevy in your garage representing, and they're representing pinnacle cars they no longer make.
Really cool.
The Fiesta ST is a pinnacle Ford product. Still can't believe how great that car is. And the Camaro SS, unfortunately, is dead, and you've probably seen the rumors recently. They say it's coming back. And Chevy is talking about how we'd like to have the success that the Mach-E is having. We should do that with the Camaro. We said it already. We called the shot, and I'm afraid we might be right, but we'll see.
Chevy, bring back the K5 Blazer. Just call it the K5.
Just call it the K5. Make it look like a Blazer.
Kia. The K5 and K4 now, too. K5
anyway,
Blazer. Bring back the Blazer. Bring back the Camaro. Make it cool. We'll see.
We'll see.
Every so often, we've got to cover the new category, Did You See This? And I thought this was notable. We didn't get to this for our Monterey Car Week episode. I'm really intrigued by this.
It's totally the kind of thing you love. I get it. It's great.
It combines my love of art and design with classic cars. This was on display by a gentleman named Ben Tuna. He is the Glass Cowboy, theglasscowboy.com. He's got an Instagram that's fascinating, but he is currently doing stained glass artwork in the windows of vintage cars. Now, this one he displayed at Monterey Car Week. This is a 1965 911 that he found as a derelict in Ohio somewhere, but he has also started to acquire some of the burned out cars from the fires in Pacific Palisades in Los Angeles back in January 2025. He is collecting these cars and doing a series of them, designing and doing installations of stained glass because obviously the cars aren't going to get restored. This, again, was not one of the fire cars. This was a derelict car. I look forward to seeing future cars from him, but I am fascinated. The article on this described how he took over this stained glass business from his dad because he grew up doing this. And his dad taught him everything. He deals with all kinds of injuries to his hands in this day and age of doing manual labor for the art. It comes back to me for Michelangelo. Not only did he build the structures, his scaffolding to paint the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
But he also went and collected all the ingredients to make his own paints.
Yeah.
In the age of creating digital art and AI, that's not something you can do here. It does not apply.
The article is fascinating.
Very original to me.
Agreed. The article is fascinating because this is kind of his passion project, is to do these cars. But this is a guy who now is in demand. I mean, he's in LA, which helps, but he's now in demand. Like people's high-end homes, they're putting in a stained glass panel here and there. So he's in demand all the time, and he's doing these on the side, and he obviously also takes commissions. But fascinating to see when those old school projects or old school skills, the things you do with your hands that you have to be taught apprentice style, that doesn't exist anymore. And here are people making a living from it. That is really amazing. We've got a few audience questions. I'm going to start here with Kyle Anderson, who's asking me a Lotus Elise question. He said, when the Lotus Elise was new in 2005, the base model was $43,500. He said that is, based on inflation, the equivalent of $72,000 today.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
What is the most eye-catching or even potentially exotic performance car you can get new today for $72,000? And does it come close to being as special as the Elise was when it was sold in 2005? And then the same question, but for used cars. $72,000. Can you come close to the exotic impression or special impression the Elise gave? These are his words, not mine. And there are those of you out there that hate it when I talk about the Lotus Elise. I'm back. The thing is, $72,000 gets you a Supra. It gets you a Nismo Z. It almost gets you a Dark Horse Mustang, but I don't think any of those are actually as exotic and unique looking as the Elise. I think the Supra, looks-wise, the Supra comes closest, looks-wise, to seeming exotic at $72,000. But $72,000, I don't think there's anything that is as head-turning new as the Elise was in its time, because the Elise was so weird and small and exotic looking. $72,000 new? I don't think there's anything else that does it.
No,
actually, I think the closest one I can think of, and the only reason it isn't exotic is because we see so many, is actually the Miata RF. It is interesting enough. I wish it came in Skittles colors. If that came in a Skittles color, I think it would do it.
I see that.
Because it has enough. It's small, it's unique. The RF has enough flowing lines that I think are going to be timeless, that if that came in the yellows, the oranges, the Krypton greens that the Elise came in, I think that car could pull it off. But it doesn't come in the right colors for it. And we see enough Miatas that we just go, I think the general public just goes, oh, it's a Miata. I think we're kind of over it, but in the right colors, that could do it. Used, you could get an Evora, and that feels weird to people. I think the Evora works.
The Evora is good.
I don't think
like that. Yeah.
I think the Caymans and Boxers and 911s are too common. I think enough people have seen them that they're not as head turning as the Elise would be. This is hard.
Great thought exercise.
Yeah.
I've got a question on Facebook from Kirk Meyer asking what cars from 2010 to today would best wear T-tops?
Ooh, I like that.
All the same ones that wore them then.
Yeah, new Supra wears the T-tops.
Supra, Nissan Z.
I like it.
A Corvette.
Yeah. Even though the Targas that the Corvette pulls off is awesome, but that is good.
T-tops on a Vette.
Yep.
T-tops on the Mercedes GT.
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's good. I like that one a lot.
Going back, let's bring back Aston, some Vantage T-top and make it a little bit.
Oh, the T-top Mercedes is resonating with me like crazy.
T-top
That's
Mercedes
good.
Could be cool.
The T-top Mercedes
on the
GT would be killer. The problem with the Targa is you've got this long beam of body you have to put somewhere. The T-tops, because they're half that size, stack.
Yes.
And they're much easier to store.
Much better.
Much easier.
You can do glass panels. You can, it's endless.
It's exciting.
The Mercedes GT.
That's very cool. I like that a lot.
What else? Oh, I've got a question from Peter Ronas. He's our friend. He is in Australia.
Yep.
And he asks, if we were in the witness protection program, what car would we buy that subscribes to the everyday driver ethos?
So it's got to be a car that isn't noticeable but is good dynamically.
Correct. And it has to be somewhat daily usable, even though we have described if you drive that car daily or somewhat daily, low to high cost, that is your everyday driver. So that does include crazy expensive cars. If you're dailying them, truly, those do count. But for the most part, it doesn't mean something really exotic.
I can think of two, actually.
Okay.
Witness protection cars that
Okay,
are
good.
legitimately good to drive. One, it's a Polestar engineered Volvo.
Ooh.
Nobody looks at a Volvo and goes, "Who's that guy?" Nobody cares. But Polestar engineered is good with the adjustable Öhlins and
That's
stuff.
true.
That's good. The other one that may be the winner is the Chevy SS. Nobody cares. No one looks twice, and you're going to love driving it.
Would a Hellcat Charger count?
I think it's
Because you notice it, but you're intimidated by it. And so you look away. It's sort of like, ooh, I don't know who that is. Run away.
Well, but see, the problem is I think
that too
but I
shouty?
think you notice. That's the problem.
You do notice,
The
yeah.
Volvo you look right past, and the Chevy SS, if you notice, you think it's an undercover cop, and so you look away. If you notice. You probably don't even notice because you think it's a rental car. You think it's a rental Malibu.
But it's the SS underneath.
It's the SS. Exactly
That's
right.
really good.
I think that may be the answer.
Would a Blackwing work here? CT4V Blackwing? Would that work?
Here's the thing. The Blackwing works in 10 years. It's too new right now. In 10 years, you bought a used Cadillac and nobody cares. Everybody
you're
think
right.
right now.
Okay.
A 10-year-old Cadillac, you don't care anymore. A new one, depending upon the styling and have you seen them? Yeah, okay,
and especially
maybe.
the V series,
Yeah, the V series,
they're
yeah.
kind of noticeable.
10 years
Okay.
from now, Blackwing, nobody notices.
I've also got a question. Kyle Bliss on Facebook asking, what's our idea of the best could have been car?
Ooh.
The example he gives is like a Plymouth Prowler. Well, it could have been awesome if they'd only shoved a V8 in the
V8 with a
thing.
manual, sure, yeah.
I think the Miata is and remains a could have been car,
Ooh.
not because of engine, but because of size.
Interesting.
Everyone we talk to, us included, if only the seats were lower, if only it were a little bit longer, if only I just need 2 more inches. Mazda, could you just give me 2 more inches?
You want the NC, the third gen, over and over and over. You want that scale.
But
yeah.
just slightly, ever so slightly bigger.
I see it.
It's the Miata at 120% scale.
I like that the Miata holds the line, even though I don't fit. I do like that it holds the line and says to manufacturers, you can still make small and lightweight in spite of modern tech. I do like Mazda
If
for
you gave
that.
us 2 inches and lower seats and kept it the same weight, could they do it?
Yeah, that's a good question. All
And
right, I see it.
Would that be like,
I see it.
finally, but it screws up the wheelbase too.
Yep. There were a series of, I think it was called a 103. I don't know why it's in my brain. Maybe that's wrong. But Chevy introduced right around the time the FRS came out, they had a concept, looked kind of like the 2 Series BMW that was supposed to be below the Camaro. It was this rear-wheel drive 2-seat concept. And at the time, the concept looked pretty close to production, and then it vanished. And I was like, "What? But you were so close. We were so close. Like there it was, like sitting on the stand, like really close." And then it died. That's not actually entirely to the question, but it's the one that jumped to my mind.
My standout car is the current C8 Stingray.
Okay.
The Corvette Stingray
Yep.
is a could have been. And the reason I say that is because nobody consulted me about the design brief and golf. But if you take golf out, you get 75% scale.
Yes.
And it could have been so amazing lightweight with a manual transmission.
It's lighter and looks better if you take
Mid-inch.
golf out. You're right.
It
You're right.
could have
You're totally
been.
right. Yeah.
Keep the V8,
Yeah.
chop the back off, make it look McLaren-ish. I mean, the Manx
yeah,
cat.
yeah. I get you. Yeah.
Chop that golf trunk off, and we're slightly smaller scale. You can keep everything else about it. It's still easy to get into. When you get into a C8, there's gobs of space. There's
It's a fantastic
loads of
car.
room.
Yeah.
Still keep the frunk, maybe a smaller frunk or a smaller trunk.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe
sure.
no trunk, but it's a sports car.
Yeah.
Go do sports car things with it.
Totally agree.
Smaller,
Totally agree. Yeah.
lighter. It could have been.
Well, while we're at the could have been, you got me thinking about current new stuff. I have to say this. I'm sorry, but the Dark Horse Mustang.
Could have been something awesome.
Because keep in mind,
Yes.
think what Ford was coming from. GT350, 350R. Phenomenal. Follow that up with the Mach 1, not the engine, but everything else from the GT350.
Great car.
Mach 1, a fantastic car.
Yes.
You jump off of that. This is what Corvette always did really well. The last Corvette of any generation was the benchmark. That was like the bones of the next Corvette they made, and they made the next Corvette even better in base model because they based it off the last one.
Mm-hmm.
How did we go from GT350, GT350R, Mach 1 to Dark Horse? It's bigger. The interior's worse. There's no steering feel. It drives big.
It drives worse. It drives worse than the Mach 1.
Oh, absolutely it does. It drives worse than a lot of that generation, but especially the Mach 1 and the GT350. The dark, and here's the thing, the Dark Horse looks cool, and it has that cool name, and it has that cool paint. There's so many things about, did you know Ford's coming out with a new Mustang? It's going to be called the Dark Horse, and you're coming off the Mach 1 going, bring that.
Now that we've talked about SUVs, the Chevy Blazer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
It could have been a K5 Blazer to compete against a Bronco, a Wrangler, and the new Scout.
Because it
and
came
Rivian,
out because it came out after the Bronco. It's obvious. Yes, Blazer.
It could have been both internal combustion and EV. It could have been just the squared off K5 Blazer.
Yeah.
Everybody would have bought that.
Yes.
Make it small. Well, still make it big. Make it huge. I don't care.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Make it the old Blazer,
They
just
made it
like
the
the
Camaro
Bronco.
SUV. Yeah, not good.
And then now we have the new, it's
EV
a Blazer in
one.
name only. And then there's still time. There's still time.
You could always correct. Correct. Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate all your questions. Thank you so much for sharing the podcast, for rating and reviewing.
Yes, for sure.
We definitely appreciate your patronage, your support. Thank you so much. We're always looking forward to next time. Cheers, everyone.